Brian and Andrew and their friends Les and Pete are building their dream villa in Crete.
I don't know if they're ready for us.
But unlike Pete and Les, Brian and Andrew will be moving out for good and have sold their house, packed up their animals and said their goodbyes to friends and colleagues. And now they're ready for their new life in the sun.
Warmer climate.
I know.
Hard act to follow, though.
Impossible, maybe.
While they await their flight to Crete in 3 days' time, Brian and Andrew are actually lodging with their former neighbours.
Oh, wow.
And then, suddenly, it snows. Not in Coventry, but in Crete, for the first time in over 50 years. A local expat catches these wintry scenes on his camcorder, while his wife attempts to open up the house that Brian and Andrew have rented. Airports across Greece are closed, and all flights are cancelled. 3 days later, and it's moving day. Although flights to Greece have been restored, the airlines at Heathrow are still clearing the backlog. Andrew and Brian are reunited with their 2 dogs and 3 cats, but they've just found out that the cats will have to fly separately on another airline from another terminal.
That's brilliant.
So aren't the cats coming?
Cat's having to go on a later flight because apparently they've double booked. Not quite sure until we get in there why they've double booked or how you double book 3 cats on a flight, but they have done.
Right, let's get you checked in now.
There's still a sense of chaos at the airport, but luckily faithful friends Pete and Les are travelling with them to help with the move. But none of the group has ever flown with pets before.
How are they going to weigh them? Or will they just estimate it?
I've no idea. Can't put them on there to
Well, no,
weigh.
you can't put them on there. Go trundling down with the baggage. That
Get
just
him out and have him sit on it. Hello.
In preparation for the journey, all the animals have come prepared with travel documents and passports.
Well, I'll let you have all that. And you through checking them to Heraclian? Yes.
Andrew can now see why their cats weren't allowed on the flight. There are already 2 feline passengers in the next aisle, and they're flying business class.
They found out yesterday that our cats couldn't go because they'd got cats double booked, so presumably that's your cats.
What you have done with the dogs?
What's the matter?
Because the airline don't like to transport a combination of dogs and cats in the same hold, it now looks as if these privileged Persians could bump Brian and Andrew's dogs off the flight too.
I mean, I don't know why we couldn't just buy them a seat and they could sit next door to us and look out the window.
Finally, it's decided that the dogs can fly, but now they'll have to be weighed in as excess baggage.
This one's heavier.
This one's heavier. Yes.
Though obviously they'll be placed in a pressurised hold.
Where are we going now?
Where do we go? She's gone to the desk.
Went up to that desk.
I haven't a clue what's going on. We're going backwards and forwards. I'm getting concerned about their welfare, and nobody really seems to know what's down. She's going back now.
Sort of protracted, doesn't it?
Oh!
After all this wheeling about on the trolley, Rupert the Labrador has lost his balance.
Finally moved.
We don't have the cats.
The cats are going. Well, they're not our cats.
Oh,
those are not.
cats.
Those cats are not ours.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Check-in has taken nearly 3 hours, and now the dogs have to be taken to a separate dispatch area at the far end of the terminal.
Okay.
Here they're handed over to the specialist animal handlers who'll keep them watered but not fed throughout the journey.
We've got plenty of water. They'll see. Be
We're on
good.
the same plane.
Oh dear, I'm glad this is one way. I really am.
You look a bit stressed.
I'm very stressed. It's a bit early, but I could definitely do with a large gin.
The dogs were less fazed by it than we were.
I've said it before, and I think you'd do better in a crate with a little thing attached to sort of...
Very droll. I will not go by crate, I told you that. I'd be glad to get out of this terminal. I really will.
4.5 hours later, and the team has finally arrived in Greece. But now they have a 5-hour stopover at Athens airport before their connecting flight to Crete. And as if that weren't enough, the freezing weather is still causing delays, and their plane is going to be a further 2 hours late. But worse than that, the cats haven't even left London.
Hello? Oh, right, yes. So so they won't be coming out till Wednesday early hours. Same flight number. Okay, that's fine. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Bye. There was a problem with the paperwork.
Oh, for Christ's sake, there wasn't.
There was.
This is a bloody nightmare.
So we've just got another day before the cats join us.
We can't do anything more now, so we might just well go and have a nice gin and tonic.
Yeah. Oh, please.
I couldn't spit
a tenner.
The team finally land at Heraklion in Crete at 2 a.m. The journey has so far taken over 18 hours.
I haven't got the energy to go up.
I sort of feel really knackered.
We pick the dogs up outside, you go out the main terminal, and it's to the right. There's a gate there, and we pick them up from there.
Let's get them.
Right. Hello, you all right?
The dogs have made it safely to Crete, but they can't be let out until they reach their accommodation, some 3 hours away. Brian and Andrew have rented this villa for 4 weeks until their house is ready to move into. With its surrounding fence and tiled floors, it's perfect for dogs and cats.
Oh, nice.
Cat trays. We haven't got any cats.
That is so kind of them.
Hello. You there? Ready?
Ready?
Hello.
Well, they seem fine.
Yes, no ill effects whatsoever. Yes.
I'm numb.
Like any self-respecting dogs, and with a great sense of relief, Rupert and Jacob instantly mark their new territory.
No, stop it. Oh dear. First puddle to the black one. Mind you stepping in it.
Wait a minute.
It's now almost 24 hours since the team began their journey. And not surprisingly, there's only one thing on their mind.
I tell you what, gin and grapefruit juice.
Later that day, and the team wakes at the crack of 3 p.m, anxious to see what progress is being made by the builders on their new home further down the hill. They chose this villa especially so they could keep an eye on progress down at the site.
I think they're making tea.
No. That looked very much like a deserted building site to me. You know, with 4 weeks to go, I'd have thought there'd have been a sizable building team in there, at least doing internal work, even on a day like today.
They could be working inside, couldn't they?
They could be working inside in this bad weather, which is always what they said they did. They always finish the outside, the roofs first, so they can work inside.
I think we just got to get down there and have a look.
You better get some wet weather gear, though, Brian, before we go down there.
Crete has been ravaged by the freak weather. Buildings have collapsed, and many of the precious olive trees have snapped under the weight of the snow. It's a shock to the team as they drive to the nearby town of Kalivis.
Did you expect it to be like this?
No, I didn't, I must admit. I never thought about rain. Certainly never thought about snow.
No. Floods?
No.
Destruction? It's not like the island we left last summer.
England was cold, wet and miserable, but today Crete is colder, wetter and more miserable. The team is on a mission to buy wellies so as to cope with the soggy conditions at the site. But the town is deserted.
Oh. We'll go through that.
It's a shoe shop. That looked very open to me. No.
Got walking boots.
They've got walking boots in there.
They're not open, needless to say.
Has it got an opening time?
Should be open at 5.
There, look.
Yes, it's about 5 past now.
So we'll wait for them to open, shall we?
Yeah.
It's 26, they're still not open, so plan B.
So, plan B it is. And thank goodness for dogged British ingenuity.
Don't deviate off the middle.
With the courage and determination of Scott of the Antarctic, a packet of bin bags and just a hint of Mary Poppins, the team wades in.
Thought the swimming pool was at the back.
This is the first time Pete and Les have seen the site since it was a concrete platform.
So big, Brian.
I tell you what, it is higher than I thought. It's a lot higher than I thought.
Oh, God.
The downstairs area is destined for Pete and Les. There's water everywhere, and they notice that a lot of it is pouring down from upstairs.
Yeah. Where's that coming from?
Through the slot of the window, probably.
Yeah, but that's undercover, isn't it?
No, there's no balcony in front of that window, is there?
Oh, that's it. I've ripped me poly bag.
The upper floor will be Brian and Andrew's domain. Though visibility is fading fast, they struggle up to see where the water is coming from. Brian and Andrew's flat will have an unusual feature. It's been a constant preoccupation since it was dreamt up back in their Coventry kitchen.
One of the functions of this property is to have this wonderful vista. And there's this big, massive window that just drops into the ground. Instead of having patio doors, I'm looking up the garden now and I can see it now. This whole area is just clear span.
That's your window.
Brian's vision is a giant picture window, hydraulically lowered into the space below. It's an ambitious idea and potentially a huge liability, as no one really knows if it's going to work.
It's raining now, the water's pouring in there, but it's not under any cover.
No, I know it's not.
So water is going to go down that all the time.
Yeah.
All right, so it don't rain a lot in the summer, but it does in the winter, and you don't want a river running through that utility room. There's going to be a problem. Well,
Time for a large gin.
Dripping and disappointed, for once it's doubtful that a large gin will be enough to restore their sinking spirits. It's the second day, and Brian and Andrew are due to move into their new Cretan home in 4 weeks' time. But from the vantage point of their rented villa, they can't see much building work being done on the site.
It's worrying in a way because we are only 4 weeks away and it certainly isn't looking habitable.
There's still no news about the cats arriving, but at least the cold weather is breaking. A few shops are open and the team has now found some Wellington boots, so they can return to the site for a thorough inspection.
what a difference a day makes.
And even the fact that there are still no actual builders at work can't dampen their excitement.
I think it's absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, now it's a decent day. It looks so much better than it did yesterday.
Honestly,
I think the roof looks good.
Yeah,
the roof is a...
it's...
you know,
honestly, I haven't seen it close up.
Yeah.
This is...
See, a pitch roof looks so much better than them hideous flat roofs.
We walk the plank.
The downstairs part of the house will be Pete and Les's share and will be used just for holidays. But during construction, this area expanded, and because of the rising cost, they can't afford to finish it yet.
This is your... bijou apartment.
It's bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, much bigger.
But with characteristic good humour, Pete and Les have agreed to leave it empty until the team can afford to do it up themselves. So it's the upstairs part of the house that's meant to be finished and ready to move into in 4 weeks' time.
So here we are. Welcome to our home.
Oh, this is a reasonable size.
This is the office. Welcome to the office. It'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Pete's Hill.
Pete's Peak.
Good God.
Pete's Peak.
Pete's Peak,
You'll be
sorry.
able to look at it every day.
I'll never get away from it.
Think-
But if you
think of
turn
him.
that way,
We've got Brian's
Brian's
Bay.
And it's this view of the bay that's kept the team committed to the project through every financial crisis and setback.
It is quite an emotional. Last night when we were here, it was dark. The whole of that bay was closed in, and now, even in February, we can see this stunning view.
It's what it's been all for, isn't it?
Absolutely. And this window is it. It's it.
But the window aside, there's no way that the house looks like it'll be ready to move into when their rental runs out in 4 weeks' time. They have to find out when and if the builders are going to start work again. The team's point of contact at the Cretan developer has been Douglas, but they can't seem to get hold of him, so they pay a visit to one of the company's offices to see what they can find out. Douglas, it seems, is on holiday, and although they don't get the assurance that the builder will have the house ready on time, they do get a meeting arranged with Michaelis, the architect, the following day. They've also managed to glean some other information, but it's not all that encouraging.
The main problem they've got is that they can't get the electricity connected up until end of March, April time, probably about 3 months from now. To get over that, the builder has actually bought a large generator, which is an interesting development we didn't really know about. There are a couple of issues which we're going to discuss with the architect when we see him on site. The major problem is the slot for the window, which doesn't appear to be in the right place. But again, we can talk that through tomorrow. I think by the reaction we got, there wasn't a surprise that we'd said it was in the wrong place. They may have already realised it's not where it should be.
There are one or two other snags, like we can't get into what we thought was going to be the utility room without using the access through the
window.
Through the window.
Yeah.
So we need to,
We need an
to
outside
talk
door
about
putting
that.
in so we can get into the utility room without having to raise the glass window.
At present, the utility room is
cut off when the
if
window's
window's
down.
down. You can't get in, and as you said, you need a new pair of knickers. We'll have to raise the window.
To get to the washing machine.
Though they put a brave face on things in front of Pete and Les, Brian and Andrew admit later that they're actually far more worried than they let on.
What have we done? We've sold the house, right? We've given up our jobs.
We've moved here lock, stock and barrel.
All our stuff is on the high seas. We've got a suitcase, that's all.
Perhaps it's not the right time to think about it.
Well, if anybody thinks coming to Crete in the winter is easy, they better sit down and think again, because it's not.
God.
It's the team's third day in Crete, and at long last there are signs of activity on the site. They hurry down to meet Michaelis, the architect, and Stelios, the builder, in the hope that they will have some better news.
Is this going to be finished on the 16th of March?
Για τις 16 Μαρτίου είναι η παράδοση.
Συν ένα μήνα πες τα καλοκαίρια.
Plus 1 month of bad weather. And for 1 week plus or minus.
Fine, that's good enough.
Όλα εξαρτούνται από
And it depends too much from the weather.
The weather. So it's a week either way, maybe. That's good.
Plus or minus a week, ain't bad on a
that's not
project
bad.
this side.
Thoroughly relieved, they now tackle Michaelis on the ongoing problem of the window.
So what bothers you?
There's nothing to fix to.
There, it's the slot. Is
We
there.
will open the slop to there.
But is there a beam under?
Yeah, there's a beam underneath.
Το παλιό σχέδιο είχε νομίζω 2 αποθήκες.
Ah, ναι, όχι, τίποτα, άδειο. Στέλιος says okay, everything.
Very good.
If we need something, we are going to fix it by supplying something on it. We are going to reinforce it in a way.
Right.
When we have all this distance, I mean, the plans are okay, everything, but in the construction,
Get it here.
we see what's going on.
Mikhailis is confident that the opening can be adjusted when the window is in place. But there's something he hasn't taken into consideration.
The window is 3 tons.
3 tons.
Yeah.
3 tons.
Very heavy.
Well, they're going to need iron.
It is 3 tons, isn't it?
3 tons is too much.
But
And, it's not only the question of bringing it here, it's only to raise it up and put in. I will send somebody to measure exactly how it is now, so they know exactly the dimensions. So they tell us maybe from the beginning, we need this area bigger, we need over there an opening or something. I think it's the best to do.
So, seemingly against the odds, the team has Stelios' promise that he can finish building the house on time if the weather holds out. And since Mikhailis has agreed to liaise on technical details directly with the windows manufacturer, they can forget that problem too, for the time being. In the meantime, they've had a call to say that the final family members have been waiting, rather impatiently, at the airport since dawn.
There they are.
Poor little boxes.
Are you right, George?
We thought we'd lost them, didn't we?
Now.
Yes, the family's complete. That is ridiculous getting uptight about
Oh, they're 3 little
24
persons.
hours. I know, look at them.
All right.
I can sign for them, then we can get them into the
Sign them off
the
and
wagon.
let's get them home. Bless.
Hello, boys.
So the cats arrive, but the dogs couldn't care less because they're about to head off for their first walkies.
See how unhappy they are.
They're all stressed and traumatised after their flights, aren't they? So nice to have them all here, though, isn't it?
It is. It's nice to have the family back together. We've been separated for too long. I mean, there is our dream home. I keep pinching myself, thinking we might wake up and it was a wonderful dream.
No,
But it's
to be
not.
honest, we're here.
At last, the whole family is together again. And Brian and Andrew's next challenge will be to start to fit in with Cretan life. And in the next programme, they learn to manage their olive plantation like native Cretans,
It's so easy.
prepare for the self-denial of Lent by joining Carnival,
How did he get up there?
attempt to make friends with important locals,
You're the mayor. All right.
and try to lead a healthier life.
Look, can you just leave me alone? This is really difficult enough as it is.